Welcome back to High Tech. Now, before the break, we told you about Amit Badalia here from Rogers, and we're really excited to have him today to talk to you about LTE and how it really works. So, Amit, thanks for joining us today.
Anytime.
Pleasure for having you.
Thank you.
So we really want to get started about talking about wireless technology and communication has come a long way since the inception of radio telephony. What can you tell us about how it has evolved? I hear the words 2G, 3G, and 4G thrown around a lot. What can you tell us about how it's involved and where it's headed in the future?
That's a great question, Saeed. So a funny thing about Rogers Wireless is that we actually brought it into the industry, if you will, back in 1985. Me, I was just a little Rogers data guy. You guys probably weren't even born yet, right? And so when we're talking about services back in 1985, we're really talking about just basic wireless services and paging services. Now, since then, our technology's evolved. And what we're talking about is the next level, your 1G, which is analog service. Now, I know this is way before your guys' time, but when we're talking about analog services, we're really talking about those big brick phones that people were holding, trying to make phone calls.
Right.
Okay? Now, of course, technology continued to evolve, and next we introduced digital. So when we're talking about digital, we're talking about smaller phones, more compact devices, flip phones, if you will. Right. But still, really, one can only do phone calls and text messaging. Okay. Of course, our customers wanted more. They wanted to be able to do wireless internet on their devices, and so we introduced the GPRS network. Wow. Now, when we're talking about GPRS, we're talking about customers now have the ability to do wireless internet on their devices. But guys, I'm not going to lie to you. It was slow. It was like dial-up speeds on your wireless phone. Right. It's like when you download a picture, a little piece comes, another piece comes, you go make a sandwich, you come back, and that last piece is here.
So those GPRS phones are kind of like the old Blackberries. Would they be running on that kind of network with the monochrome screens?
So like all those troubling YouTube videos that you tried to watch and you had to wait an hour for them to buffer?
Saeed, we're not even at the YouTube time yet. Right? We're still years before that, right?
Wow.
And so, of course, our customers, well, they wanted more. They wanted better speeds. And so we introduced the 2G network, which is the Edge network.
Oh, wow.
Now, when we're talking about Edge, we're talking about faster speeds. Kind of equivalent to having Rogers high-speed internet light at your home, but of course on your wireless device.
And the first iPhones came out on Edge, correct?
You got it.
Wow.
Okay, technology continued to evolve. We went to the next level, which is your 3G, or also known as HSPA.
Okay.
Now, when we're talking about HSPA, we're talking of speeds of up to 7.2 megabits per second download speeds.
Wow.
Cool thing about your 3G, though, is that it allowed two new things to happen on your wireless device. You can now stream videos, hence your YouTube and stuff like that, and you can also make video calls.
Okay, so you can do both at the same time?
Yeah, you got it.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Okay, and then, of course, we're not going to be content at just 3G. Rogers is known for their innovation, so we took it to the next level. We introduced your HSPA Plus, and now we're talking speeds of up to 21 megabits per second download speeds.
Now, Amit, I've been hearing the words 4G and LTE used a lot recently in marketing. Can you really tell me what they are and what's the difference between them?
Another great question. So when we're talking about 4G, like you mentioned and we're talking about earlier, we're really talking up to 21.1 megabits per second download speeds, which is quite frankly fantastic. But the future is now. And so we're talking about LTE. Wow. And so when we're talking about LTE, of course that stands for your long-term evolution. And what we're really saying here is that this is the global gold standard for wireless internet communications. Guys, we're talking speeds 10 times faster than HSPA+.
And now you're saying speeds, like right now you said 4G, it's around 21 megabits per second. Now LTE is 10 times faster. Now, could you just give a comparison to maybe what you're getting at your home? How does that compare for a speed comparison?
So when we're talking about LTE, we're talking theoretical speeds of up to 150 megabits per second download speeds.
And how does that compare?
To put that into perspective, like you were saying, right? Imagine you've got Rogers Express at home, fantastic speeds, right? You're wired into your laptop, and guess what? You're still getting faster speeds on your mobile device.
That's amazing.
Yeah, how cool is that?
It's impressive. Now, we've talked a lot about the speeds, and I mean, data is becoming a big deal. When you get a phone, almost every phone, it has some kind of data feature, and now a lot of people want to have data capabilities for either WhatsApp or for streaming videos or getting their emails or browsing the internet. Now, on the topic of voice over IP, such as FaceTime, a lot of people with iPhones can FaceTime now. A lot of people have Viber or Tango that can do voice and video calls without needing to use their cellular minutes. How is that affecting data loads on the network, as well as the shift from using your cellular minutes to make calls towards your data to make calls?
All right. So if we were to take a step back, we're really talking about making phone calls over the wireless network. And like you said, you're using your daytime minutes, right?
Yeah.
Unlimited evenings and weekends, whatever minutes you're using. But that's one part of the network. The other part is kind of how we've enhanced ways customers can now communicate. So we went from the old way of just making a phone call to now allowing for voice and for video, right? And some of the examples that you mentioned, FaceTime with iPhone, Skype is another very popular application where you're able to look at somebody as you're having a conversation. And so what we've done here is introduce yet another way where customers can have that enhanced communication with family, with friends. And it's more than just family and friends. It's a great way to be in touch with your coworkers, right? Great way to stay in touch with everybody.
So Rogers hasn't seen this rise in data services. We even see this in traditional text messaging. People are opting to use apps like WhatsApp instead of text messages. Like David mentioned before, FaceTime, audio, or FaceTime, just to communicate with others. And that's moving away from the traditional voice calling and text messaging that Rogers and other ISPs offer. So how is Rogers in specific adapting to that increase in data services and shifting away from the traditional services that ISPs used to offer?
Yeah, it's another great point, right? We've really seen an evolution in the way we use our devices. When we bring it back to LTE, what has LTE really done for the consumer, for the customer, right? It's made things faster. Right? Whether you're a social networker like myself, I love to be able to upload photos to Facebook, photos on Instagram. I need to be the first person to send out a tweet and make sure that everybody gets it. That's what LTE allows me to do. We're talking about speeds, right? But the real thing is what LTE has done to improve your life with the device. Guys, let me give you an example, if you will.
Okay.
I'm a big Blue Jays fan. Love my Toronto Blue Jays. Can't wait for the upcoming season, right? Now, for me to watch a baseball game just a couple years ago, I really had to rely on watching it on TV, right? I couldn't leave the house. What if it was a daytime game? Well, then I'd have to miss it because I'm at work, right? What LTE allows me to do is be able to watch things when I want to watch them on my device because of the fantastic speeds. No more buffering. No more of those lag times. And really cool thing about what Rogers does in offering the fastest LTE network is that we also have a category of devices called our Category 4 devices.
Wow.
Devices like the Sony Xperia Z1, like the Samsung Note 3. These devices are actually capable of running on the fastest LTE network. And guys, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This spring. Can't quote you guys an exact date, but this spring we're also going to be introducing the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the LG G Flex.
So you mentioned Category 4 devices?
Yeah. So
not every device is a Category 4 device if it's just LTE?
That's and to even add more perspective to that, right? Because I love that segue there, right? Imagine you're on this empty highway, right? There's no traffic, there's no cars, it's just you, but you're on a bicycle, right? So you've got this entire road all to yourself, but you're on a bicycle, so you can't go really fast, right? With our Category 4 devices, like the ones that I've already mentioned, you can go right down the highways, no traffic, you're going up to 150 kilometers per hour, if you will, right?
And no speeding tickets.
And no speeding tickets, that's exactly it.
So the Rogers network is the fastest, and there's a lot of devices that can take advantage of the speeds, and they're constantly evolving to make it the best possible experience. Now, there are also other services that Rogers offers, such as maybe Rogers One Number, that allow you to take advantage of the network in more ways, and attaching it with the internet. Could you expand a bit on those extra services that people could use?
I absolutely can.
All right.
So guys, Rogers One Number is one of my personal features. I use this app religiously. And so what we're talking about here is the ability to log onto your laptop, to log onto a tablet, and with your wireless number, you're able to make phone calls out. Anywhere within Canada, and there's no long distance. Get this, when you make a call from your tablet or your laptop, you're not even using your daytime minutes. It's a free phone call for you.
So it's kind of like the FaceTime, but from Rogers. So it's a voice over IP service, am I correct?
Yeah, you got it. But the key, though, and how we differentiate our Rogers One Number service from the others is that it's my cell phone number that will display on that outgoing screen.
So you still carry the same caller ID features?
Exactly.
Wow.
In fact, guys, I got a great little story here for you. So just last year, I went to India, went to go visit some family and friends. My brother, who lives down here, had no idea that I was going on vacation. I didn't even bother telling him, right? So I was in India, I logged on to a high-speed internet connection, opened up my Rogers One Number account, and from there, I was able to call back to Canada, call my brother, and guess what displayed on the screen when he received the call?
Your phone number.
My cell phone number. So I had a full conversation with him, and he didn't even know that I was in India.
So you can use Rogers One number no matter where you are, as long as you log into your computer and just access your Rogers One number account and make calls just a normal. So One number is only available on your laptop and tablets, or also you can get on your phone.
You can get it on your wireless device as well.
And what would be the benefit of getting on your phone?
Well, once again, to avoid those long distance situations. Plus, you've got that one central inbox. So you've got all your text messages and your emails coming into one designated inbox.
And you could even, I guess, if you're on your laptop and you're working on something and you get text messages coming in, you can respond from them right from your computer?
Do you know how much easier it is to type a text message as opposed to pressing it on a touchscreen phone? Exactly.
Now, I'm really excited about this LTE, but I can't help to wonder what's next. I know you can't give us away much, but where do you think the future lies for wireless communication? Where are we headed?
You know, that is really a great question. I couldn't even answer that because we've got so much going on right now with LTE.
Right. True.
The fact that we're able to do things like these video calls, Rogers One number, the fact that we've eliminated buffering and those lag times, right? The future possibilities in my mind are endless.
Wow.
Now, another thing, LTE is this, as far as coverage goes and where you can get LTE service, can we just elaborate on where it is and how the coverage is going to expand?
You know, it's another great point. So we were first to introduce LTE, yet another Rogers first, right? And so we introduced it back in 2011 in Ottawa.
Okay.
And since then, our footprint is continuing to grow, right? Not only do we have the fastest network, but our network continues to grow on a daily basis.
So you have, is it mainly the big cities that have the LTE coverage, and then suburbs are going to start going to those?
Exactly. We've started with the big metropolis cities, and we're going to start slowly expanding outwards.
Now, the places that don't have the LTE, what do they have below? Is it just 4G or is it 3G? What are they getting?
And see, that's another advantage to being a Rogers Wireless customer. Backwards compatibility, right?
Oh, wow.
So if you're in an area, if you've got an LTE phone and you just happen to be in an area where there is no LTE, your phone will backfall to the 4G network. And so to answer your question, yeah, they've absolutely got the 4G network, which is an established network, pretty much covering the majority of Canada.
That's great. So, we went over the 4G speeds, the LTE speeds that we can get. There's Rogers One number, which we'll be talking about Rogers One number later in our next segment. And we went over some of the Category 4 devices that can take advantage of those very fast speeds. And there's the Samsung Galaxy S5 coming out sometime in the near future.
In the spring.
This spring.
Thanks for being with us. It was a great talk. And stay tuned for the next time we talk about Rogers One number and how you can use it to integrate your phone and your laptop and make calls and text messages across many devices.
Stay tuned.